You ever notice trucking has gotten so advanced, so high-tech, so efficient, and yet we're still out here making life decisions based on, I see the fuel gauge, but I think I can make the next exit. We've got AI, predictive freight analytics, real-time GPS tracking, but every single one of us is still rolled into a truck stop at 9:17 p.m. thinking, I know there's one spot left, I just know it. And listen, today is April Fool's Day, which honestly feels like the most appropriate holiday in trucking because half of the things we deal with and talk about on this podcast sound made up. This load's only going to take 20 minutes. Right. We've heard it. Sure it is. So today we're leaning into it. We've got some drivers and actually somebody from the Plattsmouth Terminal joining us to talk about all the pranks they've pulled in the past, what ones they might be thinking about in the future, and just some general April Fool's buffoonery. We'll have some would you rather setups. We'll also ask a question, what if? And we'll put some pretty interesting things after that. And since Amanda is here with me today, that means that at least one person on this podcast will stay grounded in reality. So that's really good news. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the gold standard of podcasts for the gold standard of drivers. This is the Liquid Trucking Podcast with your host, Marcus Bridges.
What's up, everybody, and welcome into the Liquid Trucking Podcast for, I think, episode 121. We have so many of these now, Amanda. It's so hard for me to keep it straight. I'm Marcus. That's Amanda. I'm working through the content calendar to see which episode this is, Amanda. Welcome to the show.
Whatever number it is, I'm happy to be here.
122. It's a good thing I looked it up because it would have been wrong. So welcome in to episode 122, Liquid Trucking. We're glad to have you here today. It is April Fool's Day, and this is a tough one because Amanda and I both come from radio, and let me tell you, there are a lot of radio shows that plan year-round for an April Fool's prank or something that they're going to pull on the audience. I will tell you that in my 10 years, we played one April Fool's prank. It went incredibly wrong. It wasn't funny. Nobody fell for it, and we literally shipped it after that. Amanda never tried again because what we turned it into, and this was kind of our avenue on the airs, we turned it into, well, we're going to make fun of all of your guys's April Fool's jokes. And so we would go find all these radio stations that tried to do this elaborate thing, and it sucked. And that was our shtick. But I had a little bit of anxiety coming into this one because, like, what are we going to do? I don't really like the idea, Amanda, of pulling some type of elaborate prank on a bunch of truck drivers that need to be focused on their job.
No, and I definitely was thinking about pulling some elaborate prank on you, but to be honest, I don't have the time nor the energy. You're lucky because of that.
You got to get up pretty early, though. That's the thing is with and I know that about you too, is like, if that idea would have crossed my mind, I would have just thrown it out because it's like, no, she's got the instincts. She'll know what to look for. If I got to get up really early in the morning to be able to put in enough time and effort. And part of the fun part is the interview that we've got coming up with a couple drivers, Matthew Stevens, Jason DeFoor, and then Beau Hanke from The Office is going to join us as well. These guys have pulled plenty of pranks, and what you'll see here is that there is a level of commitment that goes into some of these pranks that, you're right, Amanda, I just don't have the time for it anymore. Maybe it's my age catching up with me, but I'll tell some stories in this interview that it's like there was weeks of planning that went into this. I don't remember the last thing that I planned for weeks besides, just trying to live and adult correctly. I don't know. I don't have anything. But this will be a fun episode because we are going to talk about some of the elaborate pranks that we've pulled in the past. And we have the resident prankster from Liquid Trucking coming on. That is Beau Hanke. Look, full transparency, we've already done the interview, Amanda. I was blown away at some of the commitment to some of Beau's pranks that he talks about. Were you surprised by any of those? Because I figured, like, normal office pranks, No, this is, you actually said it during the interview. This is Jim and Dwight from The Office. No
Oh my
question.
God, yes. Yeah, the first thing I thought of was the Jello episode
Yep.
where Jim puts like everything on Dwight's desk in Jello or wrapping everything in wrapping paper. Like it was, I will say, talking to him left me inspired. So be forewarned, anybody who comes in close contact with me.
I'm so glad that you are a country away from me right now because I can see it in your eyes. I know that you're excited. You're going to be thinking about this. So, well, you know what? I'll hit the homework really quick. Podcast.liquidtrucking.com. That's your one-stop shop for everything Liquid Trucking Podcast. All the episodes are there. You don't got to download an app. You don't have to do anything other than bookmark a web page. Podcast.liquidtrucking.com. And don't forget, you can send us an email directly from there. But if you don't even want to go to the website, it's real simple to remember the email address. It's almost exactly like the website, podcast@liquidtrucking.com. Let's get our guys in here and start talking pranks. Amanda, I have been looking forward to this episode since we put it on the calendar like 2 months ago. There's a special thing that happens with the Liquid Trucking Podcast every now and then where they take the reins off completely and they open the gate and they let me run way over yonder. And that's where we are today. I've cleared the gate. I'm way over yonder. It's our April Fool's Day episode, and we've got some guests here that are ready to have some fun with us. So, Amanda, are you as excited as I am about this segment?
Sir, 11 hours in a truck for your mind to wander and come up with ideas. I don't know how I can be prepared for something I've not yet experienced. So we will see how this goes.
Good. Well, let's bring our guests in here today. We don't get him on here very often, and we're so happy to have him back, especially because we hear he might just be the captain of pranks at Liquid Trucking. Please welcome driver development and trainer Beau Hanke to the show. Beau, it's been a while, man. Welcome back. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me on again. Yes, it has been a while.
And I know, too, I want to just draw a little attention to this because everybody that joins us on this podcast is very gracious with their time. But I happen to know, Beau, that you're working with a partial staff right now. So are you keeping your head above water right now as we talk to you on a Monday?
Yeah, I want to say I have 13 people in training right now.
Wow. Okay. So make this quick, right?
It's busy. It's busy.
Okay, good.
It's the end of the day, so, I just got out of class a little while ago, so I'm all right.
Perfect. Well,
we can end the day on this.
That's awesome, man. Well, I hope you have a little bit of fun here with us to end your day. I can't wait to hear some of the stories that I know you've got for us. Let's welcome in our other guests. We've got a couple Liquid drivers joining us from out on the road. First off, please welcome Jason DeFoor back to the show. Jason, glad to have you, man. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And we're upright out there. You told me before we came on here that the wind had been a little bit hairy out there in Nebraska, but we've got all 18 of them on the concrete right now, right?
Right.
I
always joke about the safest way to be is sideways, and yeah.
Well,
I think that's how I survived yesterday, was by being sideways.
Well, we're glad that you kept it all upright, man, and thanks for being here. We've also got other driver joining us, Matthew Stevens, on the line. Matthew, thanks for coming back, man. Good to have you.
Thank you, sir.
And where are you at right now dealing with the weather that's all over the United States?
I just got out of Colorado into Nebraska, heading back towards Plattsmouth.
Okay, good. Well, the safe trip there for you. This episode is so exciting to me because I guess my prank livelihood goes way back. I've been pranking my friends since I was a young kid, maybe 13, 14 years old. And not just the kind of pranks where, like, you pour water on them when they're sleeping or you put the hand in warm water, which is how I got my start. But, like, involved pranks, like well-thought-out pranks, Amanda, like pranks that if I pulled on you, you might not be my friend next week type pranks. And that's kind of what we're here to talk about today because, as I said off the top, Beau, when I brought this up to some of the powers that be there at Liquid, and I said, who's the pranksters? There were two names that came off every single email that I got, and it was yours and Cole's. Now, Cole's not able to join us today, but talk to me a little bit about this, Beau. Are you guys just constantly all year round pulling pranks there in the office on drivers, or is this like a sort of a April Fool's Day thing that you aim for? What's the environment like there at Plattsmouth Terminal?
It's just spur of the moment. I think those are the best. Probably one of my favorite ones is Jake brought up, he had a headache or something, and he's WebMDing things. And I'm like, oh man, oh buddy, don't you go on WebMD. You either got the terminal injury or like it's death automatic. So I think someone mentioned like a stroke or something and burnt toast. So I ran immediately, got some burnt toast, put it in his office, hid it behind things. I mean, I've been pranking Jake since he got here. I've got an ongoing one with him currently that he thinks that he has tinnitus in his ear. And I'm doing nothing to him.
You're not like playing a sound?
I'm not pranking it. No. I gave him a sound in his head that he thinks is real.
You placebo affected him into having tinnitus?
It's bad. It's bad.
You see, nobody can see right now, but Amanda is covering her ears because for tinnitus, for somebody that like wears headphones every single day, it was just a nightmare. And Jake is constantly on the phone on his headset. So he's going through it right now, and you didn't even have to work for that, Beau?
No, that was low-hanging fruit. So a while ago, I think it was when we first moved into the building, I bought this little tiny chip. It was like a little board with a noisemaker on it. And I would put it in people's offices. I put it in the ceiling. I put it all over, and it would make different noises randomly at just different times.
What the heck?
And someone found it and took it, and which was fine. It was only like $7 on Amazon or whatever. Just so you guys know, if you were looking for one.
Immediately pull my phone out and start searching.
Right. They're amazing. I mean, you can do like cricket noises. You can do all kinds of things. Like a really, really, really high-pitched one that you can just barely hear.
Oh, God.
You're like, is that something? It would drive you crazy. So anyway, I used to do that. Well, I told Jake, I said, you been hearing anything in your office lately? And he's like, no. So he knows I'm pranking him all the time. So now he's like got this whole thing going like, you know what? I do hear something. Came in the next day. He's like, I hear this ringing in my ear. So that's an ongoing one that he can't get past it.
Amanda, with as excited as Jake was about our conspiracy theory episode, I can see us bringing him on for a part 2 to talk about the conspiracy of what's going on in his office, see if we can.
Oh, goodness.
I just wonder, like, is there ever a time that, Beau, that you go to have a conversation with Jake where he actually takes you seriously, what you're saying? Like, just straight up.
Surprisingly, yes. Like all the time.
That's
too
problem.
trusting.
One day we took everything out of his office and printed like a copy of his keyboard, his mouse, like everything was printed. Like
he is the Dwight
we
to
took
your
all his
Jim.
little figurines down and just put printed pictures of everything.
I love that.
This is,
I mean, constantly, like I am Jim and he is Dwight.
Yes.
This is what I'm talking about. It's not only the prank, it's the commitment. That takes time. Like how long did you spend printing pictures out to do that?
So I brought it up. I was like, you know what, we gotta do something to Jake, he's new in the office. And I was like, what if we print then I started looking on Google and some guy had done this, like printed out, like everything in their office was printed. So I'm like, oh, yeah, that's a great idea. So then Cole gets to working on it. Like, you bring something up and he wants to do it. He's on it. So
hard worker, that
he
guy.
did most of the printing, but yeah, it was hilarious. Messed his computer up, like unplugged, like barely unplugged his screens. So they looked plugged in. When he looked at him, he's like, I don't know what's going on. It was,
That's
this is all
diabolical.
I've got a lot.
And this is all just for everybody listening to know. This is all during the year when Jake's been planning a wedding and he's very stressed about it. So,
I mean, the first one I ever did was Dave.
Oh, you got Dave, huh?
Yeah, I got Dave a long time ago. And there's a Windows update, right? that you can just put on someone's screen and it looks like it's updating the computer. Well, Dave's a little bit older. It goes to like 160%. Past 100%, and he's still watching it for like hours.
It's free time off,
I'm
man.
like, I didn't know it would keep going. I thought it would just like end. But he sat in there like, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, I love it. I love it. This is so great. This is exactly why we brought you on, Beau.
Dude, it never ends.
Now, I want to turn it to the drivers that are joining us today. Jason, I'll start here with you. I have to ask, are you glad now hearing a little bit of this that you don't work at the Plattsmouth Terminal every day?
Yeah, I mean, I can take a good joke, but at the same time, there's just days where I'm just like, leave me alone. And I'm glad to be a driver.
Yes, sir. So you jumped at the opportunity to join us for this show, so I have to assume that you've got some stories to tell as well, Jason.
I mean, there's everything from being in youth group to even when I was training student drivers. Like, again, like the newbies are the best ones because they don't know any better. So it's easier to pull stuff on them.
Yeah, Beau's nodding his head in agreement, which makes me wonder if we've got some orientation pranks that have happened, I'm sure. But go ahead, Jason, continue.
Like, just the little things, like, don't forget to check your blinker fluid, make sure the lighter fluid's full. In orientation, when it came to orientation here, I almost asked him for where do I pick up my load bar so the load doesn't shift on me while I'm driving.
Beau, you've asked a couple guys if they have their load bar, I'm sure, haven't you? Right before they walk out the first time.
My favorite thing is pool passes. Make sure you get your pool passes so that you can swim in the pool this summer when we have our pool party. They're like, you guys have a pool? You should see how many people believe me. It's crazy.
Well, there is a big water feature right out there close to us, so they might think that's where they're going, right? It's a treatment.
Lake. Yeah, the lake.
Yeah. Oh, that's too good. Matthew, how about you, my friend? Another guy that was jumping on coming on this episode. You got any pranks you like to pull on your fellow drivers or any of the guys from the shop there?
Well, one of the best ones I ever got, it was actually done to me. Back in the 90s when I first started driving, I was driving with my dad. We had an old cab over. I didn't know anything about cab overs or driving. Nice. And I'm getting ready to pull out of our farm area and got a fertilizer tank on. I didn't realize my dad had pulled the handle on the back of the cab.
Oh no.
I come up to the end of the driveway, hit the brakes. The fertilizer hits the front of the tank, and I hit the windshield.
Oh, my God. So he tipped the whole cab forward on you?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And was this all in like a lesson of, hey, this is one of the things you need to check, or was this just to get you?
This was just to get me. This was me and when my dad was alive, we was always pranking each other.
So what was going through your head as you suddenly pitched forward and got to meet the windshield face to face?
This is how I go.
Oh, that's too good, man. You know, I talked to you guys about the commitment and being involved in the prank, and the one that really I have for you that is like one of my favorite is because we went so hard on trying to set this prank up. We started watching scary movies with a couple of our friends, and I think it's Dan and Austin. And if it's not Dan and Austin, if you're listening, I apologize, but this is just too good. So we started watching all the scary movies of the time, like a couple weeks in advance. And then about a week before we had our planned prank, we said, hey, you want to drive up to the cemetery? Because some of the kids in town have been telling us they've been seeing some weird stuff up at the cemetery late night. So we went up there, drove around. A couple of us got out and walked around, acted real scared, jumped back into my buddy's Bronco, and off we went. So a week later, it's about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. We take one of our friends and we get him a full Scream suit, the full black robe, the black Scream mask with the hood, and we hand him, a hunting knife, like a Crocodile Dundee, like 12-inch blade, kind of nasty looking thing. And we just took him up and dropped him off at the cemetery and 4 or 5 hours later, we came back with our buddies that we'd been setting this up for so long, and we had the Bronco that we were in was one of the ones late 70s. You could pop the top off of it. So we're riding around in a convertible Bronco, and just when we drove by this tree, my buddy jumps out of the tree, climbed all the way up into a tree, jumps out of it with a knife, and starts chasing the Bronco. And I've never heard two men, they weren't men at the time, I've never heard two almost men scream quite like that before. And I will hand it to my buddy, who I think it was my buddy Chase who played the screen. He chased us for like a good quarter mile, like full on sprint with a hunting knife. Probably not the smartest thing you've ever done. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Dan and Austin did not want to talk to us for like 3 weeks after that. And this was like, these were my best friends. But commitment, right, Amanda? That's what it's all about. It's about commitment to the gag. Maybe he didn't think we could scare him. Maybe that was his fault, okay, because we were on top of it. But just one for me as we're going as a round table here and throwing stories out, Amanda. I know you're waiting with bated breath for your next one.
Prank gone wrong. So I worked at a cluster of radio stations. There were 3 of us in a row in a hallway, and I was on one station. And then all the way down the hall, the third door down, my friend was on the other station. And my cousin comes to visit me at work. He's like, we should TP your friend's studio. Now, I'm like a rule follower to a point that like I get made fun of. Like I'm overly moral to a fault almost. So I'm like, whatever, we're going to TP her studio while she's down the hall doing something else. So we go in and we take 3 different, maybe 3 feet long sheets of toilet paper. I lay one across her seat. I lay one over the top of the microphone. And then I lay one across the mixing board, but like nothing crazy, right? So she comes back from wherever she is and she has like a good laugh about it. And I remember I talked about it on the radio, like, yeah, we just pranked the rock station down the hall. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, but listen.
Oh, wait, you did this to the rock station?
This lady.
That was your that was your mistake.
It ended very bad. Beau, you have
like
no
Googling
idea.
Yeah, yes. Us rock guys have nothing but time.
It was
Us
a
rock
rock
guys have
lady.
nothing
Her
but
name
time.
was
Amanda.
Blaine.
At all.
And so she thought it was so funny that she decided she was going to do the same thing to the morning show on her own station. It was a Sunday evening. She was the last show. She's like, I'm going to TP the studio more. So she's all excited to show me when we get to the end of our Sunday night shifts. Come look what I did to the studio. And when I tell you it was a whiteout, like you could not see any part of that room at all. I mean, at all. I don't know where she found that much toilet paper to even do that. Like literally. So I'm like, okay, bro, I think that that's probably a little bit much. I wouldn't do it if I were you. This woman was like 40 years my senior. I can't tell her anything. She knows how the world works, Amanda, okay? Like, just go with the flow. So I'm like, all right, bro, whatever. Happy Sunday. Have a good rest of your weekend. I'll see you next weekend. Man, it was such a big deal at the radio station. So the guy who normally does the morning show was on vacation. An afternoon guy who's already pissed that he's got to get up and be there in the morning comes in. He sees the studio and he picks the chair up and he throws it across the room. And they're to the point that they're talking about like getting the police involved. Like it was this. Seriously. At no point do any of the powers that be in that building call me and say, hey, Amanda, what happened? Instead, a boss of a competing radio station calls my boss and says, I know who did the toilet paper thing. I heard her talk about it on the radio. So who gets called in the office?
Oh,
You
and
pranked
they're like
yourself.
cussing me out. And here I am. Like, I knew because the gossip was all through the building. I'm like, if they want to talk to me, they'll call me in the office and talk to me. Of course, they're going to ask me what happened. I'm not just going to offer it up and throw my friend under the bus. Again, overly moral to a fault. So partially my own fault because I didn't immediately, when I hear, you know, the buzz at work is they're talking about police. I should have at that point immediately called my boss. Like, yo, look, this is what. No, man. Terrible. Terrible idea.
If you haven't had a
That's
run-in,
part of the fun, though.
yeah, that's true.
Sir.
Beau's right there.
My
mean,
one
that,
boss,
like,
he
I
was-
took this too far.
He was reprimanding me. He was so far into
love that
reprimanding
part.
me that he was saying, and you have 2 kids? And I was like, and I snapped at that point because I had 3 kids. I said, sir, but you know, Whatever.
Don't get that one wrong. Hey, look, I'll tell you right now, if you worked as long of a radio career as Amanda and I have, and you haven't had some sort of run-in with the police or cease and desist delivered by phone, you're not doing your job well enough.
You're not doing it right.
You're not doing it well enough. Yeah.
And part of being a parent is pranking your kids.
God,
I'm like seriously.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that means that you guys got to come with stories. You got to back that up with receipts. Let's hear some of the best ones. Jason, we'll start with you again. Some of the best ones for your kids.
I don't have any children. However, I do have a youth group story if you guys want.
Sure.
So it was our annual, yearly, camp out where we go camp out a couple of nights and at the river and just, have fun. And so me and a couple of the other guys, we got the idea on taking some of the prissy girls out, the super prissy girls out, because mind you, we're out in the middle of nowhere in the woods, to go snipe hunting.
Oh. Okay, so how long did that hunt take?
Oh, we were out there for a good hour and a half. And so
I love
So we concocted the story of hey, we need these brown paper bags here. What you do is you go out in the woods. We'll take you out in the woods. You shine the light behind the other paper bag. We did the whole setup. Sorry, give me 1 second. And you got to make this weird noise. And so we left them out there for a good, 45 minutes to an hour. And we're over there laughing our butts off. And I'm like, hey, I got an idea. And so I grabbed the paper bag, right? And I found a big rock to put in it. And so I go running up hey, I caught one. They're like, really? Yeah, you got to see it. It's a big
what
one,
were they
right?
like again? How did they sound again?
So
I heard you.
They were prissy girls. They were prissy girls. So they come walking up, right? And I've got my hands around the top of the bag, I'm holding it, the top of it really, really tight, and I'm shaking the bag, trying to make the rock look alive, right? And mind you, it's pitch black out except for our flashlight, so it's kind of hard to see what's actually going on. And so all in one motion, I opened up the bag, grabbed the sides of it, ripped it open, the rock comes flying out, the girls freak out, take off, go running back to camp, we're all out there laughing our butts off. Yeah, good times.
There is never, I always have time for a good snipe hunting story. If you grew up in rural America and you never got taken on a snipe hunting trip, I don't know if you've really lived. Amanda, do you know about that?
I'm literally going to embarrass myself and say, no, I don't. And I'm going to take it a step further and say I had this really cute outfit from the Gap that was cargo jeans that happened to be white and a windbreaker that was neon green. And I decided to wear that to go with the guys to go paintballing in the woods because wearing bright fluorescent and white in the woods while paintballing.
Yeah, it always worked out for
Man,
us.
listen.
You don't
So no, I haven't been snipe hunting, okay?
Well,
All
that's
right?
great. That means that the first time.
The surroundings, weren't you?
Yeah, right.
It was great when they called the cops on us. It was real easy for them to find us,
Beau and Jason and Matthew, I think that what we just learned is that the first time we all get into Plattsmouth at the same time, we're going to have to take Amanda out snipe hunting.
Do.
That's all there is to it.
Please do.
So.
I'm really not a city girl,
absolutely.
I swear. Take me, you guys.
Matthew, you said that pranking the kids is where all the fun happens, man. Do you got some pranks that you pull on your kids that you have a good time doing?
The last one I did is probably my favorite one. My son's in the Navy. He joined the Navy out of high school. And I was in the Marine Corps.
Hoorah.
So I tried to get him to go to the Marine Corps. He wouldn't do it. But thank you. But the day he got swore in from MEPS, it was right after COVID, so we couldn't go down and watch the swearing process or anything. The recruiter had to pick him up, take him down, and bring him back. Well, I made a banner and put up in front of the house. So when him and his recruiter pulled back up, what they saw was a big sign that says, "Congratulations, you are now my favorite seaman in more than one way."
Oh you're nicer than me.
Yeah.
My sign would have said congratulations on making parole.
Right.
How did he take it? How did he take it? Was he scrambling to try to explain anything to his superior there?
Nope. He put his head down and walked straight into the house with an "F you, Dad."
Oh, that's too good. That's too good.
His recruiter was just busting up laughing. It was awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
You know, layering pranks is also something that I really enjoy. And Beau, I wonder after you hear this little story, if you've got any that you've sort of layered, because you've already told us that you're committed to it. You've got the little chip. This one, we were doing the cinnamon challenge on the air. You guys are familiar with the cinnamon challenge. You take
it's impossible.
Completely.
It really is.
It's
Cinnamon
Unless
is
you don't breathe.
hydrophobic. Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that works, but yes.
Cinnamon is hydrophobic, so whenever it touches anything wet, it just soaks up all the moisture. So if you try to swallow a tablespoon of cinnamon, you just cough and blow a cinnamon cloud all over the place, and everybody in the room laughs, and it's funny. And you go through 3 to 5 minutes of pretty bad discomfort until you can rinse yourself out. One of the things that people like to do is chug a bunch of water because it feels like they just took a bite of dirt. And we knew that, and of course, we have access to everything in the studio long before any of these people come in to do it, and we had been gifted a $7 bottle of water-clear tequila-flavored liquor. It wasn't even tequila. It was called tequila-flavored liquor. And so we filled up every Dasani water bottle in the room with that stuff. And we started doing the cinnamon challenge.
No.
And that day, if you walked in there to do the cinnamon challenge with us and you brought your own water bottle, the cinnamon challenge went off without a hitch for you. It sucked. But the first guy, this is another thing Amanda can tell you about radio. The first guy that gets got is always the stunt guy, even if you don't plan it that way. And sure enough, our stunt guy's name was B-Rock, and he was just destitute at the time. He just wanted a job on the radios, working for nothing. That's what stunt guys do. And I think B-Rock took probably 3 big bubble gulps off of this bottle before he realized that it was tequila-flavored liquor. And the only thing worse than somebody throwing up in a 10x10 radio studio is somebody throwing up tequila-flavored liquor and cinnamon in a 10x10 radio studio. I'll tell you, we all suffered. One of the best things we've ever done, because you can't, like, when you're in that much pain from the cinnamon and in that much discomfort, the only thing you want is a little bit of liquid relief. We gave it to him that day, and it was a layered. I mean, that was one of those ones that's like, when is the prank going to happen? We don't know. We're all sitting here waiting, watching, just waiting, and that's how it goes. So, Beau, I defer to you here. Any of those layered pranks that keep getting better as they go on because the people don't know that the groundwork has been laid for any period of time?
I'm careful about how I do that. Word travels fast around here.
Okay.
So you got to be careful not to go too far, right? Like, oh, that's got to be Beau. When Beau's found out, it's over. It's time to come up with something new. Yeah. So, I'm careful with that, but that kind of reminds me when I was a lot younger, and I don't know why this reminds me of this, but it was absolutely hilarious. So I used to work at a tire company in Alaska. When I first got there, I was young, and one morning we're all standing in a circle, just like talking. It's the early morning day. We're tired. We're just talking. And I want to say someone coughed and like gagged, and like the entire circle's gagging, and we're all like dying laughing. Like, what is happening? Like, this is a chain reaction of gagging. Like, it was crazy, but I don't know why that reminds me of that. And one guy like actually full on vomited. Like,
Stop it.
what is happening right now? Oh,
My little sister, if you make a gagging sound around her, she will.
yeah. Some
legit
people are
throw
like
up.
that.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. It was
She's
really
graduating
crazy.
in September, and I think that's going to be the moment. Like, maybe when she's crossing the stage, I'll just let out a quick gag sound from the
Yeah.
audience.
Yep.
I don't know
Yep.
what it is about puking, but it's hilarious to me. My brother was a major puker. Anytime we get in a car, he's puking everywhere. Like, dude, you can't ride in a car, man. Like, ever, anywhere. What's wrong with you? And he would stand outside the window. They let him out. They stand outside the window. I'm in the back, like laughing at him out the window as he just like puke face, like, ugh.
The chain reaction vomit that sometimes happens to people, like I've seen it before where actually I think we were at Disneyland or maybe Universal Studios, but like somebody walked by and there was puke on the ground next to a ride and they start gagging and then the person with them starts gagging. Pretty soon the whole family's gagging. The kids are throwing up. Like, yeah, it's the happiest place on earth, dad's just...
I can just see the cinnamon challenge causing that problem. Like everyone's like, like losing it.
Yeah. Another thing we did too that you mentioned, Beau, going too far. This one got us in trouble eventually because this was always a fake prank that we pulled, where what it was we had 3 guys on the air, and typically I was the guy that would go, and I would go plant myself in somebody's office until they would come back, and I would be on the phone with the studio, and the minute that whoever's office it was came back, I would fake like I grabbed something off their desk and run. And I would run straight past the studio, straight into the public bathroom to play one of our favorite games called Will It Flush. And we would throw whatever thing they thought we grabbed. We would always grab something sentimental and hide it, and then I would just have a thing in my hand that I would fake grab, and they thought whatever they didn't see was what I took. And so flushing all sorts of stuff until one time we threw this, it was just like a dog toy down it, and it plugged the plumbing for the entire building. I mean, all 3 floors. Like that was one of the times where it wasn't the cops coming to us, but it was a pretty big deal because the guy that owned the building showed up during the show. I was like, hey, my plumbing is... We'll bleep that out if we have to, but that was what he said. We had to dump it on the air, the whole 9. And we got in big trouble for that also because one of the sales ladies thought we stole her favorite mug, and I smashed it with a hammer on the mic, and she wasn't in there. She was on the phone. That one got us up in front of HR. We had to have a conversation about that one. But I mean, listen, guys, if I'm counting HR stops as a quality of life type of part of my employment, through the roof at that place. I was in there all the time.
Permanent record's not real for us, okay?
Well, guys, this has been great. I was really looking forward to the story part of things. I do have just a couple of things that I want to do with everybody that joined the show today, just to have a little bit more fun before we let you get back to it. You guys are familiar. Beau, I know you've played some Would You Rather in your time. Yeah? Drivers, Matt and Jason, you guys are familiar with Would You Rather, yes?
Yes.
Okay, well, I got some trucking-themed Would You Rathers here, and we're just going to roundtable them. I'm going to present them. Everybody can go around, tell me what they think. I really liked this one. Just to get an idea of who you are as a driver, would you rather run nights forever? You can't ever drive during the daylight again. Or only run days, but only in rush hour? Beau, you're no longer a driver, so we'll go to you here first.
In days. In rush hour.
You would take rush hour days over driving at night.
Do I get to choose whether it's manual or automatic transmission?
Well, I feel like just to make it hard on you, we'll say automatic, but yeah, you can choose.
Manual.
You're all going day. Manual
yes, all day traffic, I'll take it.
He's going to have the
gear and forget it.
You're going to have the left.
Let it roll.
The left thigh of Lolo Jones, all right?
Yep.
Like
I'm fine with it.
You're fine with it. Okay. Jason.
No nights. I hate nights.
Is it an eyesight thing? Do you have the glare from the lights? Yeah.
Kills my contacts.
Okay.
If I'm wearing contacts, I can't do it.
Okay. Good reasoning. I mean, that's kind of from a safety angle too there, right? Sounds like it'd be safer for you driving during the day. Jason, what do you think?
I don't have to do nights because I know me in the public, and just sitting in just an hour of that would put me in a bad mood.
It kind of
constantly
was
constantly trying not to get hit, and people on their cell phones all the time, zooming in and out of traffic, trying to get a leg up on everybody. But because they're doing that, they're just slowing the traffic down even more.
Well, I was wondering if that's where you were going to go with it, just from what you've told me on the show before, and kind of like every now and then you got a little bit of a low amount of patience for the other traffic out there on the road. So night time's your go, and hey, good choice, because you're going to really cut down on those idiots out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Matthew, how about you, man? Only driving in rush hour during the day or only nights forever?
I'm going to go only nights.
Why is that?
Keep me away from the traffic and all the idiots.
Okay, same thing. There you go. It's just about how much patience you have for the idiots and whether or not your eyes can handle it. Amanda, I'll throw it over to you just for grins.
I don't know. I think I'm going to go with Beau Danger Hanke over here. And say rush hour, because honestly, I would love to do nights, but for me, it is 100% a vision thing.
Yeah.
And boy.
Well, I was gonna say, well, see, if you drive nights, then you're driving that big Jeep with the oversized freaking straight piped exhaust, and so whenever you do go through a town or someplace nice, you could just sing everybody a nice little lullaby while you're driving through.
I would do it like a song too, like.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm gonna have to go with night, just because I think I'm in the same boat that Matthew and Jason are, in that my patience wears thin, and if that was every single day of my life, I think my life would be drastically shorter by my own decision making, and I just couldn't do it, man. No, thank you. Okay, I like that one, but this one starts to get into a little bit more of self-preservation mode. Okay. You guys are all familiar with your truck stops. You've eaten at a lot of them. You've been through a lot of them. You're familiar with the selection and the fare. Would you rather only eat roller grill food for a week or only vending machine food for a week? So if this thing isn't hot, sweaty meat rolling to nowhere, or it doesn't get spun and dropped from about 3 feet for $1.309, you're not eating it. Which one are you going with, Beau Hanke?
This is easy. Roller dogs. I have a name for the chicken and its shape, but I won't say it on here. I say it all the time, and guys are like, "What is that?
What does it
like,
rhyme with?" I'm kidding.
Chicken icks.
Chicken X.
It's icky.
It's
right?
like a chicken finger, but different.
Yeah.
Chicken chaser.
I mean, they got 1,000 different kinds of those things, and they're not bad. I like them.
It's true, man. I would be lying if I told you that I didn't survive on 3 go-go taquitos for $1 during college.
Yeah.
More nights than I
Love
care to tell you.
Amazing.
Okay. All right, Jason. Only roller meat or vending machine food if you got to do it for a whole week?
Vending machine food. Just because I don't know how long that thing's been on the bloody roller.
Well, it's 1 week per wrinkle. It's 1 week per wrinkle. So if it's got one long wrinkle down the side, that's 7 days. And it's like a tree. Just every wrinkle it develops, you count 7 more days, okay?
I mean, I don't want to go in there and be sitting in there since the silent era.
I understand, man. I've actually I went to take my buddy lunch one time, and he was working preventative maintenance at a mill. And I remember walking by the vending machine, and there was a burrito right in the middle, and it was huge. It was like the size of a football, and it was called the Bomb Burrito. And
Yeah, I know which one.
You've seen them.
What you're
Yeah.
talking about. That is not a bomb. That's an explosion, my friend.
Oh, that's what I asked him. I was like,
Yeah,
what
and
do you...
not in a good way.
Right. I was like, I'm down here with a Wendy's Junior Bacon Cheeseburger and fries. What do you normally eat? And he just kind of glances over at that vending machine. Good Lord, the plumbing. I don't even want to know.
Oh,
Matthew,
my.
your answer, roller meat or vending machine food for a week?
I'm going to have to go roller meat.
Why is that?
A little bit healthier, and I can do the roller meat without the bun and the carbs, I guess.
There you go. There you go. Those go-go taquitos are tough to get the carbs or the carbs off of them, but it can be done. It just depends on how much time you have. It's time and commitment. Again, we've talked about commitment to the bit. If you're committed, you can get the good stuff inside without ever touching a carb. But I had a friend that tried it once. We haven't heard from him since, but we'll get back to you on that one. How about this one? There was one that had to do, here we go. Would you rather your GPS only speak in riddles or your dispatcher only communicate in movie quotes? I know exactly where I'm going with this one.
That would be a tough one.
Okay, take some time, think about it.
This one's so easy.
Beau?
I speak movie quotes, so I am fluent. So I would understand, and I would love that. I would love that.
Honestly, sounds like a challenge almost, you know?
Honestly, Peyton used to be my dispatcher, and I mean, he's like an encyclopedia of movie quotes and things. I mean, he goes far above what I know, but like he'll hit me with something every once in a while. I'll be like, man, I gotta look that one up because I know it's in a movie somewhere, but I just gotta find it.
I think the movie quotes would be hilarious. I think a GPS speaking in riddles would make me tear my hair out.
That's
riddles
funny, though.
It is funny, but riddles are one of those things that, like, I fancy myself as a down the middle of smarts, right? I'm not smarter than anybody. I don't feel like I'm widely dumber than anybody until you put a riddle in front of me that a 7th grader could solve, and I will be slamming my head off the desk because it's like one of those things where you go to a batting cage and you hit balls and it's no problem and you're just raking, and then you get a real pitcher in front of you and you feel like you've never swung a bat before. That's how I am with riddles. So with all the other things going on in the truck, forget riddles out of my GPS. But let's talk to the two guys that are actually sitting in a truck right now. Jason, riddles from your GPS or a dispatcher that's only quoting movies?
I would have to say riddles.
Why is that?
Only because, like, just like what was said, you know, I pretty much speak in movie quotes myself fluently. The reason why I say riddles is because it'll keep my mind active. It'll give me something to actually think about other than holding the steering wheel straight all day.
I like that because also, I mean, it could give it could give you something to do to eat up a little bit of extra time when you don't solve the riddle on time and miss your turn, right? So then you get
Exactly.
Think about that.
Then you got to really riddle it out to figure out how to get back.
Exactly. See if we can walk this thing backwards a little bit. How about you, Matthew?
I'm about to go movie quotes, and it would be awesome if Kyle could start doing that.
Kyle could. Kyle can get too. I think he could do this.
Okay,
I like it.
We're going out there. We're going out to get him on that because if my GPS talks in riddles, I'm gonna throw it out the window.
Yeah.
All right, good stuff there with the what if or with the would you rather. I also have just a quick one here. This is a game I came up with called What If, and I'll be honest with you guys in the way that I came up with it. I told Amanda this already, and I haven't assessed whether or not she thinks less or more of me, but we'll just carry on here. Humor me for a second. I woke up out of a dead sleep late last week, and the first thing that came to my mind is like 3 a.m. I came flying out of bed, and I said to myself, what if the days of the week had a smell? And that was it. And I went right back to sleep. And that's what it's like living in my head, just in case anybody was wondering, random wake-ups with radio bits. So, our game here is called What If? And we're going to start with, what if you had a walk-up song when you were walking up to your truck every morning before you got in it to take off? What would your walk-up song be? Beau, I know you got a good one. That's easy. Okay, good. Hang on for me, Beau. What's your walk-up song? And you got a longer walk-up song now because you're not walking out to a truck. You're getting out of your four-wheeler. You're going up the stairs into your office.
You
so you
got
some
Metallica.
time.
Nice long intro.
This is interesting. Man, I'm going Hell's Bells.
Yes.
Such a
Hell's
good one.
Bells. Maybe Hell's Bells or have you ever heard that song on Jackass, the one where you can't roller skate in a buffalo ring? I like that one too. There's one in Dumb and Dumber that I really like. I can never find the song anywhere, but there's one in that movie that I really enjoy. So I don't know. Feeling, I guess. Mondays, I need something funny.
Yeah, right. I
Friday,
feel you. And
I'm feeling Hell's Bells.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I like you can't roller skate in a buffalo ring for what you do. Like for your job, you're not in there. You're not in there pulling punches. You got to be right on the nose with it, right?
Right. Right.
All right, Jason. Walk up song.
I want to Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
Oh, you
there
took
you go.
mine. That should be every red-blooded American male's walk-up
That's
song to
solid.
anything they do. If I'm walking up to the lawnmower.
Yes.
If I'm walking up to the lawnmower, I want to hear it. If I'm bringing my garbage cans in, like not even taking them out, like not even doing the chore. If I'm bringing them back in, I want to hear that song. 100% the best one you could have said there, Jason.
Either
It's
that
not.
or there's also Welcome to the Jungle.
That's
Ooh,
also a
that's
good
solid,
one.
too.
Slightly overplayed, if you want my honest opinion, but I also
Absolutely.
worked on a rock radio station, so we could say that about all of these.
Yeah.
Two good ones.
Especially when they were released.
Yep. Amanda's got her hands over her heart right now. I think you might have just said is that one of your favorite songs?
No, it's just first of all, I'm glad I wore the Zeppelin instead of the Def Leppard today, like I was going to. First of all, but no, I'm just like, don't come for me. That's all. Just
Got it. Matthew, what's your walk-up song, man?
Limp Bizkit, Rolling.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
You
solid.
know what? As a guy that does not personally like anything that Limp Bizkit has ever done, I think that's a really, really good walk-up song because it's a tough song, right? You hear that intro start and you think, this guy's going to smoke me in the mouth if I say something wrong, right?
Right. That or Walking on Sunshine.
Oh, a little bit of happy,
Get outta
upbeat.
here.
Yeah, that's solid.
I like that.
Nothing wrong with that.
I like that. I don't know what the name of this song is, but since you took my Kenny Loggins Danger Zone, Jason, I'm going to say whatever song that Britney Spears says, it's Britney, bitch, and then the song starts, that's going to be my walk-up song. I feel like it's got that swag and that attitude that I really bring to the table, especially with my mini skirt and heels.
Oh yeah.
Amanda, your turn. Walk-up song for you. What if you had one?
Listen, I came so close to having one for a brief period of my life. I worked for the National Wrestling Alliance and I was running the soundboard one day. And so the one head guy, Noah, is sitting with me and I'm like, I got a walk-up song. He's like, all right, play it for me. So my song is Wild Child by the Black Keys. It's just got the perfect intro to it that it gives you just the right amount of instrumental before it hits and you can hit that curtain and come out wrestling wise, and that's kind of like where I was. And then the song itself obviously describes yours truly. So that's what we're going with. Yeah.
I mean, in all honesty, for going with the intros, I'd probably go with the intro for the Immigrant song.
That's another good one. That's another really good one by Led Zeppelin there. I will tell you this. If you're ever in the very fortunate position, like Amanda was, to be behind the soundboard and you're playing walk-up music and somebody does not have a walk-up song, the only answer is Dancing Queen.
Yes!
Forever, all the time. That's what you get.
That was our cue song. That would be the last song we would play every single show day right before we started the wrestling show was Dancing Queen. Swear to God. That's so wild.
Yeah, been around the block a time or two and had it played as I walked up to do a stand-up comedy set. So just remember that, kids.
So hold
Jason,
on. I have to mention this really quick.
Okay.
So this happened, I don't even know, maybe 3 years ago. Something happened. We were at Paige, my fiance's sister's house, and I'm walking across the yard, and a snap gets sent to me. And I must have done something like, out of the realm
Character.
of normal. And it's playing Hero. Like, there are heroes among us, that song.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm some sort of like I think everything that I do is like the greatest thing. Like, I had to do this. So she plays this song for me every time. Like, I'll be taking the trash out and she'll be playing that song. Like,
Perfect.
there are heroes among us. I'm like, out of here. Constantly messes me with that song.
What I'm hearing, Beau, is that if you choose your walk-up song, it's going to be Hell's Bells.
Yes.
But if she chooses your walk-up song, it's always A Hero Can Save Us.
Yeah. I'm like, come on.
I love it. Well, hey, at least it's not Dancing Queen. She could have sent you that snap and just play that every door you walk through, right?
That's true.
Guys, hey, fellas, I got to thank you for joining us today. We're going to have to save our final thoughts on this one for next time because we are running out of time here. But Jason DeFoor, Matthew Stevens, Beau Hanke, always a pleasure. The hot dogs on the back of my neck hurt because I've been laughing so much during this segment. You guys were awesome. We appreciate you joining us today. Thank you so much. We'll get you all back on here soon. Okay, guys?
All right, thank you.
Be safe out there, guys.
Bye.
Always.
Big thanks to Beau Hanke, Jason DeFoor, and Matthew Stevens for coming on and talking pranks with us. That was a lot of fun. And Amanda, I'm so happy that I do not reside in the Plattsmouth Terminal because I know I would be a target.
Man, listen, when I first heard Beau's name, I thought, oh, that sounds like romantic. He must be like a sweet softie. Oh my God, he's terrifying. Terrifying. Like you're gonna convince me that I have like a physical ailment. I'm going to take time to go to the doctor to investigate what you have planted in my head. That is, oh my, he's like the older brother that I pray I've never have. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was something.
Yeah, and we got to get Jake back in here and talk to him about the PTSD he might have after some of these pranks. Or maybe we can just get Jake back on the show and ask him, do you hear that slight ring? Like, do you have that? Is that just me? Just to kind of play into it a little bit and see if we can really placebo affect him into more PTSD. Now, we don't want to do that to our guy Jake, but hilarious stuff there. And again, I'm so happy that I don't work out of the Plattsmouth office. Listen, we've had a lot of fun today on the show, Amanda, but I did want to get serious here for a little bit. We've got something for you that we haven't done in a while, and have even dressed this pig up a little bit, Amanda. So welcome to our new segment here on the Liquid Trucking Podcast that will show up when we feel like it. It's called News, Stuff, and Things.
News,
Stuff, and things. News, stuff, and things.
Pretty official,
I
huh?
love it.
Yeah. I got a little bit of use the robots to do the voice work, so that's, saved a little bit of money there. Got that little news intro. Okay, so let's talk about some of the things going on in the trucking industry. We know that there's a lot right now. Obviously, in the world, there's some things going on. The war with Iran is affecting the trucking industry, whether we like it or not. And I think the biggest news story that we can go to, because I see it, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, Reuters, everybody is talking about it. And even though we're recording this 2 weeks in advance, my guess is this is still going to be a talking point in 2 weeks. Diesel jumped more than $1 per gallon. This is and that was all in a week, by the way. The largest spike ever recorded, according to the Wall Street Journal. National averages sitting between $4.75 and $4.85 a gallon. Of course, this being driven by the Strait of Hormuz disruption and the conflict in the Middle East. Amanda, I don't know what it's looking like where you're at. Oregon, one of the higher priced gas states. Thank God we're not Washington. Thank God we're not California, because the average is $4.75, but a short 10-minute walk from my house, it is $5.69 today per gallon. And look, whether or not we've got good fuel solutions, whether or not we've got good deals with our vendors, this is going to affect the industry, man.
I mean, I remember, and I'm trying to remember when it was, but I remember when people were actually buying diesel four-wheelers, like their regular day-to-day car, because for some reason at that point it was cheaper. Yeah, you wouldn't catch me now. I had a diesel. I want to say I had a diesel around 2013. I had a Volkswagen turbo diesel, and that thing was mean, let me tell you. But I wouldn't be wanting to pay those prices right now. And around here, diesel is just about to be touching $5. And then, 87 unleaded, we're about at $4 as well. So, I mean, it's crazy. And one of the first things I think about is Who is that going to affect as far as our drivers and their industry goes, and in what way? I'm just super curious to see what's going to happen.
Well, small carriers are always going to be the first ones to feel the squeeze. Excuse me. And obviously, owner operators are just devastated by this, right? Because this is your biggest expense as an owner operator, and you don't have a fuel card when you pull into the Loves. You do, but it's got your name
Right.
on it, which is a real bad deal. So and where we're sitting right now, we'll get into this a little bit later, but with rates kind of I'll stop short of saying stagnant, but they're not rising as quick as we would like. So this is something that smaller fleets, owner operators, they're going to feel the pinch of, especially right now. Hopefully we don't see another weekly record spike, because that would kind of be devastating for a lot of these guys out there. As far as spot market rates are concerned, we talked a little bit about rates. This doesn't touch liquid as much as some of the other stuff that we'll talk about here today because of the type of hauling that we're doing. But I feel like it's still important just to get this stuff on the map. Our spot market in van and reefer right now, for van, we're running about 196 a mile, reefer about 227 a mile, and both of those have dropped slightly over the past few weeks. The load to truck ratio is actually down 30%. And you ask, what does that mean? What's the load to truck ratio? Well, if we're down around 30% recently, Amanda, that basically means more trucks are chasing fewer loads right now. So we've still got a shipper favored market, and capacity has loosened a bit in the short term. And capacity is a big part of this, right? If you haven't been following the news, we've seen a ton of authorities exit the industry, whether it be small carriers, whether it be some of these people that were kind of in the fly-by-night scenario of their paperwork and staying compliant and everything like that. But carriers have been exiting the market for 2+ years now. It's actually trending, Amanda, for that long. Bankruptcies are a part of it. Fraud crackdowns are a part of it. All of this equals fewer trucks, which may be a good sign going forward, because we just said we got more trucks chasing fewer loads. Well, we take some of those trucks out of the market, maybe capacity shapes up a little bit. But another thing, Amanda, that's a really big deal, and we've been hearing about it, is this legislation that it estimates it could take up to 200,000 drivers off the road, and this is the English-speaking proficiency legislation. And also, immigrants, basically, if you're over here on a visa or a student visa or anything like that, like, there's a lot of language in this where it could affect you as a truck driver. And listen, you pull 200,000 people out of the market, Amanda, you're gonna feel that.
There's definitely a lot of debate right now specifically about that going on. You see it in particular on social media, people talking about the relevancy of having a proficient understanding of the English language if you're going to be operating a vehicle that hauls that much weight, that holds that much responsibility. And I had seen a conversation recently where somebody had mentioned airline pilots who, to be fair, they're not looking at a road, they're not looking at street signs, but they had mentioned that English, no matter where you're flying, is the number one language you have to be proficient in order to fly an airplane. And I think it is. I think it's insanely important to have an understanding. I'll give like a kind of a corny example, I guess, that I can compare it to, but I went to Puerto Rico on my honeymoon, was my first time down there. And I thought I understood what the parking signs said, and I clearly did not have a complete comprehension of the parking signs, because I came out the next morning after my first night to a ticket on my car window. And to back up further, how much my understanding of Spanish was not what I thought it was, the ticket itself was a fake ticket. It was a warning from the city. They give you a warning, but it looks like a real ticket. I mean, something as simple as that, and that's just parking my car somewhere that you don't want me to park it. I can't imagine, that times 18 wheels, right?
Right. And all of, and 65 plus miles an hour and construction zones and merging and all the rest of it. And listen, we've had some conversations about this on this show. We can argue till we're blue in the face about the way they go about enforcing this. And because I think there's a lot of people that have different opinions about that. And that's not really what we're talking about so much right now. I understand, and we can definitely open up for that. So if there's some of you sitting there thinking right now, well, yeah, but the way that they're going, listen, I understand, and as I totally agree, it's arguable at the absolute best right now. It's arguable. So understand that when we're talking about this, it's not so much about the policy itself. It's that we're kind of just trying to live in the world of, hey, everybody's telling us this is going to happen. We're trying to see what the back end effects of it might be. And there's going to be a lot of them that we talk about 200,000 drivers going away. And we also talk about, well, there's been a lot of authorities exiting the industry lately. Well, you'd think that that's probably going to put more of an uptick in authorities exiting the industry if we're taking 200,000 drivers off the board.
Definitely. And I think anytime you're trying to start doing something new or do something more that you haven't done before, there's always room for improvement.
Yep.
So that's, always what I'm looking for as this process continues. And then we'll see what the fallout is and how it affects the industry. If there are less loads, less drivers, that might be a hand-in-hand good situation, but only time will tell. You throw into the mix the cost of gas, and like you said, well, now what's going to happen? It's all cyclical, and like I said, only time will tell what the long-term effects are going to be.
Yep. Everything's got a ripple effect in this industry. Let's talk a little bit about the demand signals that we're seeing here, because this is one part where maybe some of the stuff we've already talked about isn't like the most sunshine and rainbows news. It's not tropical storm news. It's not earthquake news, but it's like gray kind of skies. And I guess I could go out and mow the lawn today news. Like it's in the middle. And this is where we might see the clouds break a little bit, Amanda, and the sun shine through. Don't get too excited, okay? But little bit of sunshine here, okay? So with our demand signals right now, we're seeing what I would call mixed but improving demand signals. Freight demand is still soft overall, according to ATS, but RXO is seeing manufacturing orders tick up. Freight volumes, according to Truck News, are trending up, slowly, but still trending up. And a strong holiday season carried momentum into Q1, according to Colliers. The industry consensus right now, Amanda, is that we are off the bottom. And that's a big deal because we've been at the bottom since 2022, give or take, okay? I don't know if my dates are spot on accurate there, but recovery right now, according to DC Velocity, is what we would call slow and uneven. So while I said it ain't the best news in the world, it's better news than what maybe we've been receiving for, I don't know, the last 4 years and change. I also saw some very, very high rejection rates in flatbed in the spot market, and like upwards of 50% rejection rate. That is crazy. If we're at 20% rejection rate on that board, we're tight. We're really tight. We're aggressively tight at 30%. We are in uncharted waters at a 50% rejection rate on the flatbed spot market. So some things that make us excited here, because listen, if 50% of rates are getting rejected, just in layman's terms, that means that out of all the people going to that board that day and everybody can get one load, 50% of the people looked at the prices and said, that's too low, I'm not taking it, rejected. That is a recipe possibly in the future for rates to tick up, Amanda, and I think that rising tide lifts all ships in our industry.
Definitely a little force of hand with unity there. I think that seeing an extreme change in any number can always be a little bit scary. That slow and steady wins the race is a good phrase for a reason. So seeing a small rise in the positives could be the best way to see that rise in general.
Absolutely. And we know that there's a lot of other drivers that listen to this podcast that don't work for Liquid. If I could give you any advice right now, it would be if you're not managing your miles per gallon and your trip planning and your routing, you're probably losing money right now as an owner-operator or maybe a small fleet that's not wrapped up in big fuel solutions contracts and things like that. So just a peek behind the curtain, if you will. I don't see it getting any better right now as the bombs are still falling. Who knows what we're looking at in 2 weeks? Fingers crossed there. But since we've got these new elements now and we've got this little part on the show that we call news stuff and things, I feel like we can come back to it. Because, Amanda, this is really going to impress you. I also made an outro.
More stuff and things when we return.
Yep. Because there's no more news coming. We got all the news, but the stuff and things, they could still come. We might still have more for you. We don't today, but we might in the future. So that's where we went with that. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. Fantastic episode. I love the episodes where we get to have a ton of fun, and then we can bring ourselves back down to earth with some serious talk and actually discuss some things that matter. Not that Beau's pranking of Jake doesn't matter. In my world, it matters, Amanda. It really does.
I just couldn't handle another conversation that was going to make my face hurt like that, so...
Well, that's our April Fool's Day episode for you here on the Liquid Trucking Podcast. For Amanda, I've been Marcus. You guys stay safe out there. Keep the shiny side up. We will see you for episode 123 next Wednesday.
Thanks for tuning in and being the gold standard of drivers on the road. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and tune in next week for another episode of the Liquid Trucking Podcast.
Interested in finding out more about what it takes to bring a podcast like the Liquid Trucking Podcast to your fleet? Bulldog provides tailor-made top-to-bottom podcast production services. We'll meet your terminal staff, connect with your drivers, and bring you the content you want your drivers to hear. Type bulldog.works into your browser to connect with us and learn more about what we can do for your fleet. That's bulldog.works for podcasts, tenacious recruiting, and more.